point, Scott, we still have almost 24 hours left in this wind event before that finally starts to settle down. How do you plan on attacking this fire, if that's even the right word, for the next 24 hours?
Attacking is a pretty good word. When the wind is really howling, when you get those 40, 50 mile an hour winds, you don't get in front of it. It's basically what we have a few different tactics we use. One of them is fire front following. We let the fire blow through because there's nothing you can do to stop it, and then we go right behind it and put out things as it goes through. Aircraft can only fly up to a certain kind of wind. It's not effective because the wind will just scatter whatever they're dropping, and B, they fly pretty low to the ground, and that's just not a safe condition. So aircraft are great until the wind really picks up, and then we can't use them.
All right, we're looking at video now of a spot fire in one particular neighborhood in Windsor. Just one example of how these spot fires can affect an entire neighborhood there. And if you can, you were saying obviously firefighters don't get in front of it. It's more of a defensive mode right now. But can you talk about the manpower, the crews that are out there? Are they from all over the state deployed, and are more coming in to attack this Kincade fire?
Yes, there are still orders outstanding. We do have a lot of equipment here from all over the state. Arizona, I think I saw some Nevada. Even in our information trailer, we've got people all over the state. We've got a lot of folks out here.
Can you safely say, if you can hear me, I know it's windy there, in terms of evacuations, is it safe to say that people did clear out? You're not worried about going to door to force people out now? I mean, they've heeded the warnings and they're cleared out so firefighters can do their job now?
I can't say for sure, but that is the word I'm hearing, that people did take the evacuation seriously, and Highway 101 this morning was a parking lot, and that's a good sign. That means that people actually did heed the warning and did go.
And the wind speeds were expected. Obviously, you have your fire experts and meteorologists there to kind of track as well in terms of the fire analysis and the winds that are happening. But are we in the thick of it now, or what do we see leading into the late afternoon and evening hours?
I actually haven't really heard much about that. I'm happy that it's a little calmer than it was last night. Today was projected to be a very big wind day. And it's not turning out to be quite that, and that's a good thing.
Right, and when the fire crews are out,
I can't really speak about what's going to happen in the afternoon accurately.
When fire crews are out there, they return back and they give you kind of some comments about what they're experiencing out there. What are they telling you? This is monstrous. This is, you know, kind of how are they doing, and what do they tell you when they report back just to take a break or two?
Don't really talk to them as they come through. I don't have that.
Well, I've got one more quick question for you, Scott. This is our last question because we've got to get back out into the field. But from your perspective, they talked about the importance of not letting this fire jump Highway 101. What is that importance, and just how big of a deal would it be if it does?
101's not a small highway to jump, and if it would jump something like that, that just is an indication of the condition that we're dealing with. And then, of course, there's just that much more population on the other side, you know, in terms of structures and homes and businesses and things like that. So that would not be a good thing.
No. All right. Scott Ross with CAL FIRE, we appreciate your time and thank you so much. We're having continuing coverage on our network here on KBCW. We'll also have continuing coverage on KPIX.com so that you can get the latest on the evacuations, power outages, and also what's happening with the fires, the Kincade fire specifically, and then the residual of the Vallejo Crockett fire.
One of the things that's happening with this Kincade fire that we're seeing as a result of all of these winds is that there are spot fires that are going out up to a mile ahead of the fire lines themselves, and they are basically burning parts of neighborhoods. That was the video you were just seeing.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about one large area, and it just takes one ember to strike a neighborhood, and that's exactly what happened where Katie Nielsen is right now to give us an example of how these spot fires happen. Katie, go for it.
Yeah, so we're still in the same neighborhood where we were before along Foothill Regional Park. And so I apologize for some of the background noise here, but let me show you why. So what you can see here is there is a home worked on on right now. You've got firefighters here trying to put out the spot fire that started. You can see up in the roof of this home, I'm gonna zoom in here really quickly. You can see where firefighters have been fighting this fire. I've heard chainsaws going inside where they're trying to cut fire holes, allow this fire to breathe and figure out exactly where it is. So what we're seeing here is, again, this neighborhood along Foothill Regional Park. Firefighters are trying to make a stand. They are trying to ensure that these small spot fires that are starting do not continue to grow, that these homes are not damaged or destroyed, because with the winds that we are seeing right now, we have a very high possibility of spot fires continuing to grow. So you can actually see how windy it is when you start looking at some of the trees, how much they are blowing around. And so that's why firefighters are all along this cul-de-sac. The reason why is because we back up to open space. Right behind these homes is Foothill Regional Park. So firefighters doing everything they can to try to ensure that these spot fires do not continue to grow. So look over here. We're gonna walk over to the side of this house where this gazebo caught. Of damage that we're talking about, where firefighters are now trying to ensure that they get these fires out before they continue to burn. And so here we've got crews with hand tools, rakes, hoses, trying to put out whatever spot fires there are here at the end of the cul-de-sac. This is exactly what firefighters do not want to have happen, and that is that some of these homes catch, embers from these homes continue to blow, and then we end up with another situation where we have a fire deeply embedded in neighborhoods. So you can actually see right down here, this is part of the area of the regional park that is burning right now, right up behind some of these homes. And so as we're walking through this neighborhood here, you can see this very heavy firefighter presence. They are literally going from house to house to try to ensure that none of these homes actually catch. Twofold. One, they want to try to protect as many homes and structures as possible. They understand how important this is to the residents here. Two, they don't want these spot fires to continue. Now let me show you the types of winds that they've been dealing with here. So on this side of the fire truck, you can actually see some of the trees that have come down because of the incredibly strong winds that we're seeing in this area. As we continue to walk down the street, again, we're talking about structure protection to try to protect the rest of the community, because at the end of this cul-de-sac is the Foothill Regional Park open space. So this is the home that firefighters have been working on, and you can see the spots of damage in the roof. You can see where they've actually been spraying water up from the inside of the home through the top of the roof right here, trying to ensure that this entire house does not catch fire. Because with the winds that we are dealing with right now, if one home goes up in flames, those embers will shoot up into the air, and then we'll end up in the same type of situation that we saw in some of these other fires, where what ends up happening is those embers start other spot fires, and it continues to grow in ways that are uncontrollable for firefighters, and that is exactly what they are trying to avoid. So we're hoping these winds start to calm down, but it has been a long, difficult day for firefighters already, as they are trying to get ahead of this fire as the winds just continue to blow and push them out ahead of the lines that firefighters are setting up. Again, the main focus right now, life and safety. But after that, so long as they know everyone has evacuated, that's when they will start focusing on trying to save these homes, trying to protect the neighborhoods, because the worst case scenario is that this fire ends up in the community of Healdsburg, in the community of Windsor. And as of right now, the firefighters have been doing an incredible job of keeping these fires contained to minimal damage with these homes because they are on top of them as soon as they start. So again, we're here right near Foothill Regional Park. We're right up in the community that backs up to that open space. It's basically on the northeast side of Windsor. We will continue to be here as firefighters try to protect these neighborhoods. So for now, I'm Katie Nielsen. Back to you.
All right, Katie, thank you so much.